Right, welcome back. Outer construction is all done. Bar a couple of little parts that I can't put on until I've actually painted the camo pattern on. So here's what I've done so far. I've glued the two intakes. Now on the back of it is like an L-shaped wall, so you've got there and there. So that's where you put your glue. And then just put one on at a time and then line it up, and on the other side. And I just held them on like that. Just push them like that for about 2 or 3 minutes, because you know the Tamiya extra thin dries really quick, and I just left it. You probably could put a bit of tape over there to hold them into place, but I didn't bother. You've got these two flaps here, 1 and 2, so that's those. You've got the wing panels here, 1 and 2. Now there's a warning about those. For whatever reason, it tells you to put these 3 little rods on both sides of the wing, and then it displays like that. I don't know why. I don't know if they're for maintenance or something. I don't know. So I haven't glued those rods on. I've just glued them directly straight onto the wing, because apparently that's what they look like open. I don't know why those I'm open for. I haven't got a clue. Another warning I've got for you. You've got 2 options. You can either glue this big humped piece on there, and that goes from there to there, and that covers that hole up, or you've got this little piece here that goes in front of the wing, and then that little square piece there. Doing the research, watching the dog fights over and over and over for Jester and Viper with Maverick, and my wife is getting sick of me watching them, I've decided to go with that part there and that little square piece there that goes into that hole, but that carries a warning as well. I ran the glue around the inner edges of the wall and then push that into place, but don't be tempted to push it in too far, because it will sink into the empty fuselage, because all that's empty, and that's going to go in there. It's going to rattle around like a rattle can, and you're not going to get that out. So very gently just push that into place. That glued into place perfectly, so I ain't got to worry about that. Just be careful with that piece there. The rear tail wing, I've put the stabilizers on, the stabilizer wings. Now there's a little square tab that pushes into the side of the vertical, the main wing there, the top wing. But the only trouble is, when their glue's drying, they want to sag down. So what I did to stop that, I've got a little couple of pieces of wood there, like that, and just stood the wings on like that, and then putting my knife underneath there to level it out. And while the glue's drying, that holds them up perfectly, and they won't want to sag. And those are now dried perfect. The underneath, you've got your landing gear doors there. That's one piece with that like square triangular shape. Again, don't be tempted to push those in too far when you're gluing them down, because you'll have a slight recess. Also, I had to put a bit of tape over the back here, because when I pushed those into place, it kept popping those out. And then you've got this tail wing. You've got this landing gear door as well. That's one piece, but that line there, that's very flimsy, and that will snap off if you're not careful. Again, don't push it in too far, because you don't want to recess. The reason that's loose there is you glue that onto the back of the landing gear should you want to do it in landing gear mode. You've got this piece here, I don't know what the hell's that's for. And then you've got the missile racks. Now, watching the dogfights again and again and again, there's nothing there. There's no missile rack. So what I've done is I've just filled those in with some filler. But I've left these two open, because on the dogfight again, watching it over and over and over, there's like a tube cylinder here. It goes from between my thumb and my finger, from about there. That's about how long it is, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a reserve fuel tank, I don't know if it's a bomb, I don't know if it's a missile. But there's nothing in the kit for that little tube cylinder. It's just a big massive fuel tank or bomb. So what I'm going to have to do is, I've got some fairly thick sprue on the tree, and I'm going to cut that off and sand it down, and then glue that on there to represent whatever the hell that is. So with that being said, all I've got to do now is just mask off the cockpit, and then this is ready for primer. Right, masking off the cockpit, ready for primer. My tape, I couldn't get it to go round. It kept wanting to pop out, and I couldn't fold it over. It just wouldn't stick to the edge lip of the cockpit. So another use for blue-tack, using it as a seal for your cockpit. So I just got a bit of blue-tack and then kneaded it like a pizza. So you just knead it and knead it and knead it and knead it, really thin layer, like that, like you would do in milliput when you're combining the two colours of the milliput clay. So you get it really thin like that, and then you stretch it over, and then get the back edge of your knife and just press it down so it meets the top lip of the cockpit side wall, and then maybe stretch it slightly, but then you might have a hole, so I've had to put a bit extra there, and then just slice it off there and then push it down so it sticks to the wall. Again there as well, just get your knife and just do that. Around the back here you'll have to stretch it with the edge of your knife, but that bit there, I stretched it so far I caused a hole, so I had to get another tiny bit of blue-tack and then just push that bit down there, because that's come away a bit, and then just do that. So another use for plasticine, bloody blue-tack. So this is now ready for primer. Okay, I've now put the primer on the A4. It's gone down really well, and you can probably just make out some pencil lines because I'm drawing on the camo now. The camo's not going to be perfect, to be honest. I don't know how it's going to come out. I mean, I've tried to match up the lines as best I can. Round here, around the lip of the cockpit, when I took the blue-tack off, I just sprayed some primer in one of my cake pots, and then just went on with a brush by hand and just topped up where the blue-tack was. So primer's down, now starts painting on the camo. Right, started work on the camo painting on Viper's Skyhawk. Started with the green, which is Humbrol Enamel Matte 116, which is US dark green. Couldn't get this acrylic anywhere, so followed the pencil lines with the green, took 2 coats by hand in my brush. It's not looking too bad. And then I've done both sides of the cockpit. I haven't done the underneath yet. I'm just going to do the top and sides for now. So that's stage 1 of 3 of me camo painting. The second of my 3 camo colours has now gone down. I've gone with like the sand colour. This is Humbrol's number 63 matte sand in acrylic. And it hasn't gone down too bad on top of the grey. I'm really glad that I haven't had to paint the white underneath. It's come out really well. I might have to put another 3rd touch-up coat on yet. So there's the rear upright wing. You've got the little bit on the main wings as well, and you've got the other bit on the other side of the cockpit. So it's just the 3rd coat now, which is the brown. Right, 3rd stage of camo is now complete. It's the light, it's like a light chocolatey brown. That one is Humbrol's US Tan Matte number 118. So I painted on the front side of the cockpit there, between the sand when I've done that. So I've done that on the other side as well. Then on the intakes and over the top behind the cockpit. Then you got the belly part and over the wing. And then you finally got the tail section there and the tail section on this side. Then I've sealed it with clear gloss, which I'll explain in a moment. Turning it over, leaning it on my rolled up towel and my 2 aquacolour Potts Revel underneath the tail wings. I then did the 3 stages of camo on the belly. So I did the 116 green enamel first, that took 4 coats. But it was only this bit and this bit here. So I took 4 coats. Once that was dry, I then did the, what was that, 63 sand in Humbrol. So I did that, and that bit there. I've also done the tail section as well for the tail wings. That took, I think that was 3 coats. Then I did, once that was dry, then I did the 118 tan. And that took about 3 coats with a touch up here and there. And also on the tail wing there. So that's my camo done. Right, now I sealed it with the Revel Clear Gloss, because then it was time for decals. If you remember that decal sheet that I picked up off eBay from MAM Modelling, M-A-M Modelling, I realised that this decal sheet was actually 15 quid through my history, my eBay, but these decals are my bag of crap. Much like the F14, I put them in the water for a minute, wouldn't move. Put them in the water for an extra 45 seconds, they started to come off the sheet, but I only did the one, which is the jet intake danger marking. The ink started to run and crack, and when I did get it off the decal backing paper, they went really light and transparent, and I put them on the side of the intake and I couldn't even make them out. Other people, I bought this decal set when I bought the models, the 3 models, in February 21, and it was a new listing, so obviously it didn't have any reviews. But this year alone, he's had about 20-25 bad feedback saying the decals are faded. Also having the same problems with the ink running and the actual ink splitting. And it does cut, he said on the instructions it is sealed. But, I mean, on the F14 I did put another coat on of the clear lacquer, and they still ran and cracked. So, don't bother with MAM Modelling on eBay, because like I said, he doesn't sell these anymore. So, doing a bit of research on internet, I found out that Fightertown decals, and apparently the absolute dog's bollocks, and I've read the reviews and them awesome decals. I've managed to find a set called Extremely Adversarial. It covers A4s and F5s of the Top Gun and various other squadrons around the world. But the only trouble is they're not cheap. I managed to find a set on eBay for $31.99, free postage, or I did a search on Google and I found that Hannants, some of you may have bought off Hannants before, I found a set on Hannants for $29.99 with free postage, so that's what I've done. I ordered them yesterday on the Friday night, which is the, what day is that? Have a look at my calendar. So the 19th of August, which was yesterday, Friday. It is now the 20th on the Saturday of August. So I've ordered them last night. They should come sometime next week. So I'm going away next weekend, so I don't know if I'll be able to get any decals down, so we'll have a look. But I've had to bite the bullet and spend £30 on a set of decals. So that's where I'm sitting at the moment, so hopefully see you in a couple of weeks.